Alright, so our video idea was inspired by Andrew Burks, who did the project Chase the Light 2 years ago. So our project for this class is called Avoid the Light. So first I'll be going over the hardware. Just a quick disclaimer, currently it's not working to our liking. So first we'll show the hardware and then we will show what is happening with our game so far. Okay, so first over here we have 3 to 8 decoders, and this will help set up the LED grid as you see right here. And it's hard to see, but we have 10 transistors, which helps create the columns. Over here we have these 2 buttons right here. It was going to be 4, but we'll explain why in a bit. It will explain it's the direction of the players. So this one controls the green LEDs, and the red ones over here control the red LEDs. We'll go over the game in a bit. And then for some external devices, we have 2 LCDs over here. One of them will be displaying the timer to see how long the player will be in the game, and then the other one will be a high score, so it will display how long the longest survivor, and also display a name on the bottom. So now we will be going over what actually happens in the program, and then later we will explain why it doesn't work.
So this is the setup of the game with power. As you can see, we have a whole column of each color that's lit. Originally we wanted the game to have 1 LED lit for each player, but with the breadboard we couldn't make that happen, so we left it and made it so that each player is a column. And since before we were trying to use a single LED, that would make it so the player could move up, down, and left and right. But since it's only columns, now we can only move left to right. And the green player would be the main player, while the red player would be the player chasing the main player. And we also made it so that each player can wrap around, because if it was restricted, then it would make the game really short, and the player trying to stay away would get stuck on either side. Currently we don't have the code to end the game, as you can see, because the red one is right next to the green one. Since we did not add the serial communication between the 2 player Arduinos, as well we didn't add the communication code for the score and the timer, because the score would be based on the timer.
As my teammates mentioned earlier, we couldn't get our Arduino to light up a single LED without lighting up the rest of the row. When we experimented with different variations of Andrew's game, Avoid the Light, we used less decoders and a smaller grid. But since we decided to set up our LEDs in rows horizontally across the breadboard, all the LEDs connected to the same pin will light up when a signal is sent. If we wired the LEDs by columns in a way where each LED in the row were connected to a different pin on the decoder, it would have been easier to light up specific LEDs using port manipulation on the Arduino. We also implemented 2 LCD screens which would go along with our game. One to display the time elapsed since the start of the game, and another to display the score and winner of the game. However, our game code is not yet finished, but when it is implemented, a score is supposed to be calculated based on the time that the green row is uncaptured by the red row when the game finishes. If we implement serial communication throughout the 4 Arduinos with the code to detect when the game ends, then a timer would stop and a winner would be declared.